Anybody who's thinking of doing this, brace yourself. Hello, I'm Nisha, this is Mike, and we're restoring a 45-foot narrowboat and turning it into a tiny, floating, off-grid home. This week, we remove the last of the old insulation and add new insulation to half of the boat. I explain why we chose not to spray foam the boat and used insulation boards instead. We also moved the boat to a boatyard where we'll be doing the rest of the refit.
Once the back tank's dried, what we'll do is we'll paint on that side and then we'll have to move it all back.
You may remember a few videos back that we said we were going to have the boat spray foam insulated. Well, we changed our minds. I did a lot of research on spray foam versus insulation boards like Celotex, Kingspan, Ecotherm, and most boaters told me it's down to personal preference. They're both effective ways to insulate a narrowboat. So before I explain why we chose insulation boards, here are the pros and cons that I found of both. First up, spray foam pros. You don't get draft gaps that let the heat out. It cuts down on airborne noises like railway or motorway noise. There's less condensation. It reduces vibration and noises carried by the hull. And someone else does it for you, which saves you a lot of time. Now for spray foam cons, it does cost a bit more than insulation boards, so that's something to consider for those of you with a strict budget. It would cost about £1,600 for a 45-foot boat to be spray foamed, and it cost us about £1,000 to do with insulation boards. So not a huge difference, but there is a difference. You also have to do a lot of cutting back after they're done with the spray foam. The quality of it largely depends on the person doing it, and you can't go in for a day or so after it's done. So we have just finished ripping off all of the ply on the one side of the boat, taken out all of the fluff, the insulation, scraped it down and put a back tan on the rust spots. So I think that's a job well done for a few hours of work.
Yeah.
A couple of hours. I think it's time for lunch. But I'm so excited that we're making progress. I cannot wait until this boat is
Done.
well done, but I can't wait until this boat has just all the insulation is just gone and we can then build on it instead of taking stuff out. I can't wait. Now for insulation board pros. I read online that as long as all board type insulation is cut to be a tight fit with no air gaps, plus any joints sealed with aluminium adhesive tape, it'll be easier to deal with than spray foam. I also read that long term, insulation boards are actually better than the same thickness of spray foam because of the foil layer. You don't need to remove everything from the boat to insulate. You can insulate around things as you go. You can do it yourself, and you don't lose a day waiting for anything to dry. Now the cons are that you would have to do it yourself. This is very time intensive. You can start to get mold if there are any insulation gaps. You need somewhere to store the insulation boards while you work. They're really big, so you'll need to store them in a spare room, garage, or storage facility. They won't all fit on your boat. And like I've already mentioned, you can't have any air gaps, so you need to check every tiny gap around the boards and fill all of them in. It's pretty tedious work.
Right, I'm just going to go to the van. I should be back. Oh, Dogman's proper little ones.
So why did we choose insulation boards in the end? Like I said earlier, a lot of people told us that spray foam and insulation boards are just as good as each other as long as they're done right. So we just had to choose what was best for us. So we chose insulation boards because we can insulate around things in the boat, like the huge steel waste tank that wasn't going to be removed for another month. Instead of losing a month, we decided to just insulate ourselves so we could do it around the things still on the boat. Plus, Mike has insulated his van with boards before, so he was already experienced with this and confident with it. So insulation boards were the best for us, but that might be different for others. And I hope if you're watching this because you're about to insulate your own project, that this comparison has been helpful in helping you decide on what type of insulation is best for you. And if so, we'd appreciate it if you would hit the like button. Who insulated a wall that we're taking down?
Me.
This one over here.
Whose idea was it to take the wall down?
You.
Well, we've done most of the insulation, as you can see, above our heads and everything. Left a few gaps for chimneys and mushroom vents because we don't know what we're doing with those yet.
Yep.
Left the bottom half of the boat. If you can pan the camera, there we go. We left the bottom half of the boat down here for any trunking that we need for the Webasto heaters, but also to be able to, so we can get the floor up because it's quite tight to the wall. So we'll do that later on when we're done. We've done quite a lot of spray foam around the edges. Well, you've done quite a lot of spray foam around the edges. And got loads to do still.
Yeah, we still need to finish the spray foam, cut the foam.
Yeah, where it's expanded past the joints and everything, so we can get nice flush T&G.
Yeah. And tape over it as well.
Over it. We've got rid of loads of stuff, as you can see. It's pretty much gone. I mean, most of this is... This stuff in the middle here, we may reuse. Some of it's rotten, some we'll cut out, and we'll do some bits with that. At the moment, this is the waste tank that we're sat on that needs to go.
Can't really see it, but
can't really see it.
Let me try and... Can you see it? I'm not even angling the camera properly. No. You can't see it, but we're sat on
it's 7 foot.
Huge...
It's quite big.
It's big.
So yeah, that's got to go. We're just waiting for the rain to pass. It's been a really sunny day and it just suddenly rained. But then we're going to head up the canal.
Yep.
To a wharf, which allows us to do all the stuff that we want to do, all the noise, everything. Because we've got 2 more days left on the towpath really, but we'll move it today and we get hook up power so we can plug in a kettle.
Yes.
And plug in some chargers for batteries and things. Tools, yeah.
And get cracking.
So
that's where we're at the moment.
Done quite a lot.
Not bad.
Not bad considering we were sat where the bathroom was.
Yep.
I think it's pretty good. You can't tell where there's no walls or anything up.
It's been a lot of hard work. Anybody who's thinking of doing this, brace yourself. Brace yourself. Yes. It's taken us 2 weeks to insulate and we're almost done, not fully done. We've
got some bits behind us to get rid of, but we can't do that until the tank's out really.
Yeah, so it's taken 2 weeks. That's with 2 of us.
Was it 2 weeks and like 7 van loads? I think.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think it's totally doable, but just...
Be wary.
Be wary. Yeah, if you want to do something like this...
Make sure you have the time and the budget.
We both had to take 2 weeks off of work to do this, and that's just for insulation, and we've still got a million other things to do, like wiring, plumbing, everything. Painting.
Walls up.
Yeah.
It's
it'll be
basically
fun.
Your house, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
but yeah, if you are thinking of doing a total refit, imagine doing a house, because I feel like...
On a small scale.
Yeah, like a small scale.
All the stuff you have in a house has to fit in a small space, which makes sense, but when you actually start doing it, you then suddenly realise how small your space actually is.
Yes. It's getting there. Progress.
We'll keep you posted on the next one.
Yeah. See you next time.
Stepping out of the shadow in my room, carpet between cowboy clouds and misty moon. Silver dress, sparkle eyes, crystal blue. I was lost to the menace of the mind, sucker punched by love most of my life. Told myself I would always toe the line. Tripped on love and fell, you shook me out my shell. Now I know you well. Tripped on love and fell, you shook me out my shell. Now I know you well.
That's what I mean, so it's ripping on there.
Yeah,
No matter what you do with it, and then you pick it up easy.
it's going to be annoying.
Pretty much.
Oh well.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, my foil folds. Two rolls of this and way to start. There you go.
Tripped on love and fell, you shook me out my shell. Now I know you well. Tripped on love and fell, you shook me out my shell. Now I know you well. I fell for you. I fell for you. I fell for you.
Not too long though, because my arm will hurt.
Chuck it over the floor over there for now. Just pop it in the, that's it, just pop it there for a sec, and then we'll take it out and then we'll move away stuff. Swap the battery. That's the hammer. Well, the bar's not nice. Look at the wrench. Completely different tool. I should be back.